Welcome if this your first time to the channel. Today we are reviewing The Penguin episode 5. This one was special. After the last episode where we finally get to see more of Sophie's life on Arkham, which really gave insight to the development of the character, in this episode we got to see her rise. It was so many special scenes with Sophie and different people this episode that really stood out to me. The first scene, and probably the best scene of this episode, was when she took out Johnny in front of all the other men. It was the nuanced things that I picked up on, like her throwing the money in the blood. It's blood money. And when the men found out that they can get the money, they attack that money like roaches. Everybody just start putting their hand in. It's blood on the money. Nobody even cared. But she's leading differently than the family used to be led. And it's actually no more Falcones. That won't even be the name. It's Gigante now. She's going by her mother's maiden name. So that scene was special. You also had the doctor. Of course, he comes in. He really wants to get with her. Bad. You could see it in his eyes. Like, yo, if she make a move, he's going to go 100%. If she kiss him on the cheek, he's going to try to go in for more. You could just literally see it in his eyes. And it's good that he's there with her because she's going to feel like it's somebody that I know is here with me. I think she used to feel that way about Oz. But as we can see, a lot of things have changed with their relationship. Make sure you subscribe if this is your first time here too. And click that like button for me. I appreciate that. Now, their relationship has changed a lot. So much to where she is actually joining up with Sal. He is one of the Maronis, right? And that combination of them coming together is dangerous because the family's been at war for a long time and they're actually coming together because of Oz. She is using Oz's name to bring the families together. Like, hey, you don't like Oz. I know you don't because he stabbed you, got somebody to stab you. And then he took out your wife and your son. And the way he took them out was just vicious. Oz was really vicious this episode. He had some things happen to him that was pretty dramatic as far as the women in his life turning on him. But he was vicious when it came to the Maronis. And Sophie was vicious when it came to her entire family. She only spared the young girl. The rest of the family, done for. And people been saying she might become Poison Ivy, which is starting to make me think, how many characters are we watching in this season that go on to become something else? Like, she might be Poison Ivy. Victor might go on to be somebody. We like, oh, Victor end up being this person? You know, you never know. We know the Penguin is the Penguin. We know Oz is the Penguin. But it's early development for all of the characters. And we see towards the end, Oz actually goes to the tunnels, which will be the new base for his new operation. So we seeing things starting to set up and everything is starting to develop. He still has a big problem with Sophie and now with Sal too. He always had a problem with Sal, but them two coming together is a big problem for Oz. He's gonna have to deal with that. He does have Victor on his side, but everybody else turned on him. When you really think about it, Eve, the girl that he always ran to and she had the girls working for, she don't want to work with him no more. He's not on top in her eyes anymore, so she turns on him. Even his mother, when he goes to try to hug his mom's like, yo, you can't even take care of me. So she's like, yo, get off of me. He goes from those scenes, picks himself back up emotionally. And during this process, we find out that Victor and Oz have a lot more in common. When Oz's mother gets into these abandoned apartments, and she was making me so frustrated when they was getting to the apartments. I'm like, lady, can you move? She did not recognize that they could be in some trouble. And Victor, we haven't seen him really fight yet, so he might not even be a fighter. So he's like, come on, please hurry up. And they end up getting in an apartment on time, but she was moving slow. She didn't take them dudes as a threat at all, probably because she's thinking, my son is Oz, but Oz ain't there at the time. So yes, y'all need to move. So that was frustrating watching that scene. But they finally get up to the apartments, and she's like, yo, these apartments look like my old apartments. And then when Oz talked to Victor, he lets him know, hey, we stayed not too far away from her. And the city took my brothers just like the city took your family. So we seeing the commonalities between these two characters. I already knew that Oz took a liking to Victor because he looked at him and, you know, Victor got the stuttering problem. Victor's kind of looked at as weak. And I believe at some point Oz was looked at as weak. And we all know that. Back when he was the driver, people looked down on him. He's not a made man. So he had to do things to come up, and I think he sees that in Victor. Like, Victor got what it takes, you know, especially after Victor came back with the car and helped them get out of that situation. When he said, leave Sophie, that episode, he like, yo, leave Sophie. I'm like, man, he done left Sophie again. When they finally show what happened, why he left Sophie, you like, oh, yeah, good thing he left Sophie. Sophie was going to try to take him out because she found out about her brother. So that all made sense. But man, this was a great episode. Another great episode. They have not missed yet with one episode. Each episode, they capture a moment and it makes you ready to see the next episode for next week. They really have developed all of these characters very well too. You know, you was intrigued by Sophie. Now we know more of her story. You was intrigued by Victor and Oz, and we know more of their story now. So, you know, they're slowly bringing everything together, and I can't wait for the Penguin to finally rise and be who he's going to be, you know, because that's going to be powerful with Sophie and Sal going at him, but he has power, you know. So I can't wait to see that. I'm going to review the next episode and all the episodes for the rest of the season. But let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comments. As always, if this is your first time here, make sure you sub to the channel. Check out the other content. Click that like button. And like always, y'all be easy. Be safe. Peace.